We starting. We live, man. You there, Jay? You there, man? I can't hear you. I can't hear you now.
Go, Mike. Can you hear me?
There we go. I can hear you now.
Had to make sure the mic near me. I just
Okay.
on these headphones. So
All right. Cool. Welcome to the What's the What show. Got Jesse here.
boy froze up. Okay. I ain't know if it froze up.
No, you ain't froze up. We got Jesse here. Introduce
What's
yourself,
up?
Jay. Introduce yourself, Jay.
Y'all can't hear me? This is Jesse. What up?
All
What's
right.
you know? I'm just a dude from River Rouge, Michigan. You know. Can't think of the nose.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And I got a special guest in the house tonight. Big Mike. That's my 13-year-old son right there. Big Mike gonna talk to us. We're gonna show a little something. But before we get started, I just wanted to say I wanted to show you guys something here because we always talk about Jay, you know how we always talk about buying black and trying to help black companies and stuff like that. And a lot of times the biggest problem with trying to buy black is that we can't find anything that help us in our everyday life, as far as just everyday life in general. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And so what I found is just looking up different stuff and getting different stuff going on here. Found this right here. You see? Can you see this?
I don't
Can
see
you
what
see
that
it?
is. What is that?
It's called Freedom Paper Company, man. It's a black-owned paper company. They sell basically all your paper goods that you would need for your house. Toilet
I think
paper,
you told me about them. They
paper
based out of
towel.
Baltimore.
Say that again. You broke up
Did
real
you?
quick. Say that again.
I think you talking about them. They based out of Baltimore.
I think they are based out of Baltimore. But yeah, I'm scrolling down right now. They got the Freedom Ultra Soft Facial Tissue. Um, you can buy a super pack. They got it's all theirs. They got jumbo rolls of paper towels. So I plan on getting some of this in the near future, trying it out, and then I tell you about it and tell everybody about
Okay.
it, how it work out or whatever. They got trash liners for your trash can. And then they got light chemicals to clean up the house too.
Okay.
So yeah, that's something we can support. A black owned business. Quite sure they from what I understand, they do a lot of hiring blacks in their where they're located at. And again, it's just something to give back to to a black company, since we always talking about we need to buy black and stuff like that. So
But I mean, hey, it go back to the. I mean, just even looking globally. I mean, just bigging on the bigger spectrum. I mean, you putting money back into. I mean, you know, the American economy rather than giving it back to these big old commodities that don't do nothing for our own communities. You know, black, white, orange, purple. You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree
So
with you.
that's one of the ones that it's for everybody. You need to start supporting them local businesses like that,
Yeah, I
and
agree with
especially
you.
for us, because put your money back into where your mouth speaks.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. I
You
remember
know,
when I worked at GM, they used to the cats used to always be like all the parts come from all over the world and everything. But my whole thing was like, I mean, you can use your money however you want to use it. It's yours. You make it, so you use it how you want to use it. But you work for this company, so if you putting your money back into that company, at least you know you still got a job to go to.
mhm, mhm.
So it's like you might as well buy that car since you helping to make that car. So that's just my thing. So hey man, so since this the What's the What show, we're gonna be talking about basically what's popping, what's hot right now. And the biggest topic right now is that Jesse Williams speech from the BET Awards on Sunday. Did you happen to catch it?
Yeah, I ain't see it when it was on because I mean I don't do BET, but but close thing I go to is TV One. But so it made me. I started seeing everybody little news feeds and everything blowing up. I was like, let me see what this guy talking about. So I listened to it and I actually read the transcript.
Before you do that, I'm gonna play it. Did you hear it, Mike?
No, I didn't really watch the full BET.
Okay, so before you do that, Mike, Jay, I'm gonna go on and play it real quick, and then we'll talk about it. All right?
Okay.
Before we get into it, I just want to say, I brought my parents out tonight. I just want to thank them for being here, for teaching me to focus on comprehension over career, that they make sure I learn what the schools were afraid to teach us, and also to thank my amazing wife for changing my life. Now, this award, this is not for me. This is for the real organizers all over the country, the activists, the civil rights attorneys, the struggling parents, the families, the teachers, the students that are realizing that a system built to divide and impoverish and destroy us cannot stand if we do. All right? It's kind of basic mathematics. The more we learn about who we are and how we got here, the more we will mobilize. Now, this is also in particular for the Black women in particular who have spent their lifetimes dedicated to nurturing everyone before themselves. We can and will do better for you. Now, what we've been doing is looking at the data, and we know that police somehow manage to de-escalate, disarm, and not kill white people every day. So what's going to happen is we are going to have equal rights and justice in our own country, or we will restructure their function and ours. Now, I got more, y'all. Yesterday would have been young Tamir Rice's 14th birthday. So I don't want to hear any more about how far we've come when paid public servants can pull a drive-by on a 12-year-old playing alone in a park in broad daylight, killing him on television and then going home to make a sandwich. Tell Rakia Boyd how it's so much better to live in 2012 than it is to live in 1612 or 1712. Tell that to Eric Garner. Tell that to Sandra Bland. And tell that to Dorian Hunt. Now the thing is, though, all of us in here getting money, that alone isn't going to stop this. All right? Now, dedicating our lives to getting money just to get it right back for someone's brand on our body, when we spent centuries praying with brands on our bodies, and now we pray to get paid for brands on our bodies. There has been no war that we have not fought and died in the front lines of. There's been no job we haven't done. There's no tax they haven't levied against us, and we've paid all of them. But freedom is somehow always conditional here. You're free, they keep telling us. But she would have been alive if she hadn't acted so free. Now, freedom is always coming in the hereafter. But, you know what though, the hereafter is a hustle. We want it now. And let's get a couple things straight, just a little side note. The burden of the brutalized is not to comfort the bystander. That's not our job, all right? Stop with all that. If you have a critique for the resistance, for our resistance, and you better have an established record of critique of our oppression. If you have no interest in equal rights for Black people, then do not make suggestions to those who do. Sit down. We've been floating this country on credit for centuries, yo, and we're done watching and waiting while this invention called whiteness uses and abuses us, burying Black people out of sight and out of mind while extracting our culture, our dollars, our entertainment like oil, black gold, ghettoizing and demeaning our creations, then stealing them, gentrifying our genius, and then trying us on like costumes before discarding our bodies like rinds of strange fruit. The thing is that just because we're magic doesn't mean we're not real. Thank you.
All right, Jay. You got a chance to hear it again. What you think about it?
I look at it as, man, I'm getting reverb.
Let's take it down.
Okay. I'm good.
Yeah, you good.
All right, so when I listen to it, I see it as a, kind of call of action to our people, not just like, okay, let's take up arms. Like, you get some of the cats doing, oh, it's time to take up arms. But, again, liberation don't begin with when somebody opens up the door and just says, you free. You have to be free free yourself. I mean, think back when in 1865 when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed by Abraham Lincoln and slaves in the South were free. You free in name alone until your mind tells you were liberated from the bondage. And so I think that's kind of where, before we can go and say, you need to give me this, we want this, we have, as a people, got to start getting ourselves in to that point where we can be free. And I kind of think that's where he was trying to go with it. You get what I'm? You say you're like E40 say, you feels me?
Yeah. I'm gonna let the young lion speak for a minute, see what he think about it.
Me?
Yeah, you.
The young
You the young lion. You the young one coming up.
My thing is I bet he's not saying anything about this on Grey's Anatomy. I mean, but everything he said was right. It's not cool. We need to have equal rights. I'm not saying anybody should die. But why do you have to kill black people and you're not killing more white people? I'm not saying that everybody needs to die. And nobody should die. So we should all stop this in general. And we shouldn't have black on black crime, black on white crime. We should just all really live in peace. And just our black community just needs
sound like Rodney King. Can't we all just get along?
Hey, I mean, that's what he's saying something because he probably grew up with more diversity than we see it in our life, so he probably kind of seeing a little bit something different, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, he's been at a school where it was mostly white. He's been at a school where it was mostly black. He's been at a school with Hispanic.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he's saying that
So now he goes to a school that's basically all black. I mean, when he first started going to school, he went to Nataki Taliba. Which, hey, on the side note, did you know that they were closing, man?
I didn't even hear about that. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, they are closing. They are closing due to lack of enrollment and basically lack of money. Enrollment. So my take on the speech, I mean, he said a mouthful. I mean, he said he hit so many different points, all in that about 5-minute span, that it's kind of hard to hit on something. I had another video that I was going to show. In the video that I was going to show, I think I told you about it. was I can't find it anymore, probably because the page that the video was on was banned from Facebook. And the reason why the page was banned because the page was called Black Men Vent. And if you read the page, it was really just a woman bashing page. But the video that was on there was a video of some teenagers.
About the one.
They were asking the father. Yeah, you did I show you the video?
Yeah. About the ones about how they feel about their father. But that goes back to kind of what I'm saying about if we want to really, I think me and you talk about this all the time. How the biggest issue with our community is that father figure, or just even that mentoring programs, or even that part of somebody teaching the next generation how to be men. You know, and the man just don't mean I'm not talking about like how many girls can you get, or you know, being responsible,
doing the best they can.
How to be responsible, knowing who you are, I mean, not just talking, you know, like just I don't know, just knowing who you are, developing who you are, and somebody who that young boy when he dealing with them frustrations and dealing with all the issues that they got to deal with, who can they go to and talk to say, hey, dude, this is what you need to do. It's okay to be mad for a moment, but you need to know how to deal with your frustration. You need to know how to deal with the issues you're dealing with. I mean, and I think that's one thing we see when I look at, I'm going to tell you, this blew my mind the other day. I mean, I was just thinking about this the other day. I was picking up my wife at work, and I'm sitting there at her job, and I'm sitting there, and I seen the kid walk down the street. He couldn't be no more. He's probably about 18, 19, 20. And I looked at him, and I just started kind of getting sobbing and kind of like thinking like, how did this kid turn out to be like he was? Because he was walking around drinking like this Arizona tea with, I mean, he looked like, you know, it could have been something like he had no hope in his life. And I was like, how does the hope leave? And what happens for hope to leave that young kid? You know, I mean, his hair was looking like, he just looked like he was just there. And like he had no direction in life, you know. And I wonder, and that's what I always struggle with. I'm like, what causes that hope to leave? What causes them to get to that point? I don't know. And I think that's where, as a community, we have to develop ways that we can bridge those gaps.
Yeah,
I don't
know. I was talking to Lee the other day, and I think I want to say we were talking about that bridging that gap, and what we were talking about, because we go in, me and Lee go into multiple different types of background houses on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We go in Black people house, Hispanic, Latino, white, of course, and we go into all these different houses day by day doing our job. And we were just talking about how you can go into the Hispanic area of our district where we live at, and you go into those houses. If one person got a house, everybody got a house, and the main thing there is that grandmother is in that house. So sometimes you got 3-4 generations living in one house, and it helps to bridge that generation gap you're talking about. And
but that's kind of like how when we, growing up in Detroit, where you would see, especially everyone there, you would see every family like, man, they just bums. Why they get their own house? Why they all live in the same house? But we didn't grasp the concept of how that community would develop, where they were able to take care of each other, at that young age. We just looked at it because we looked at living single means independence. That independence means you're an adult, rather than it takes that village to raise everybody, and we all got to join together. You know what I mean?
I got you, because back to that video that I was talking about, because when I was watching the video, it was a girl, and the girl never really showed her face, but she asked multiple guys and girls in her school what did they feel about their fathers, and it was right around Father's Day. It was like a little bit before Father's Day, the majority of them had something very negative to say about their dad. I took it a couple ways because I didn't have my father in the household. So when I was growing up, I probably felt the same way that they felt. Luckily, I was able to grow out of that and learn to forgive. And although me and him probably don't talk as much as we should, we have a relationship now. But just to see them do that, it kind of hurt my heart that they felt that way, because I remember feeling that way, and I remember thinking like that, and it just, just seeing how they felt about their dad, and then just watching that video, the first thing he did was he acknowledged his mother and his father. They still together, even though a lot of people would say something about his father marrying a white woman, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, even though his father married a white woman, he's married to a black woman. And obviously his white mother taught him to love his black skin.
Yeah.
And his father being there obviously helped him to love his black skin and love who he was, because we know in America, if you got any drop of black in you, they consider you black. So it was just it watching that video and then contrasting it to these kids talking about their dad, it just kind of made me think, like, where are they going to be in the future? Because you got this guy who has won a humanitarian award, and he's able to get up on stage and use that platform to speak, truth about what's going on in the society. Whereas you got those people, those kids, and they're mad at their fathers, and where are they going to be at in the next 5-10 years?
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I think that one there is one that we have as a culture in America, that role of father is not really understood, how important and relevant it is. Because I see it even where in the communities that I work, I see where some of these kids who don't have those figures in their life are dealing with it. But it's like with the African American community, we have less. There's more things to overcome, and there's less support with it. So it's harder for our kids to really overcome that lack of, support. That male support. Because a lot of the times you will get in other communities where they do, if the dad's not active, dad's not around, there's some other man who steps up. A lot of times we don't, because that next man to step up ain't doing right anyway, so it really ain't pushing, help for that, that woman. And then a woman, like if he being raised by a mom, she too busy trying to be his best friend or have him be the man of the house rather than, putting on the man drawers and saying, I gotta toughen this boy up to be a man. You know how, being Portia's child, how that is.
Well, Portia is a different type of person, and I know a few girls, a few ladies that's raising their children and by themselves. The father is kind of absent, and they do that. They try their best to make that kid be what's the word I'm trying to use? What you just said, just basically make that kid be a man, make that kid know he's gonna have responsibilities. And everything. The old saying, I always say that it's a woman can't teach a man to be a man because that's a woman, but a woman can teach a man how to be respectful, how to take care of his responsibilities, and do the things that he's supposed to do. That's universal. But there are some things, especially as a man of color, there are some things that you need a positive role model around that's the same color, so that you can have that and see that, and try to model that. And we always talk about how we, a lot of times as you get older, sometimes you may have, even if you have a man in the house, sometimes that man is not necessarily showing you how to be, a good father or showing you how to be a man. And so you
Because
get older. Go ahead.
Because no, I was just thinking about, like I said, I think I brought that up earlier, how no one who's gonna, a lot of times, I mean, because we deal with a lot of stress, we deal with a lot of, I mean, and no one else can really understand. And so if, oh crap, my phone needs to be charged. And so we deal with you have the stress, you have the pressure of, it's a reading I read years ago about, I think if I find it, I'll let you see it again. But it talked about like the internal pressure that as people of color in the system, especially as men of color in the system that we're in, because you always have that extra pressure to succeed, because you know you carrying on, you represent your whole race, you represent your whole family, you represent everyone, and so that extra burden is on you, even though no one placed it on you, is there. I'm gonna see if I can find that reading, because it was a real good article written by a professor at this couple I got. One written by a guy at Michigan, another one at Stanford. But when you have these pressures and these things on you, if there's no one who's been through it, you don't know how to handle it. And so you need somebody who you can talk to and say, "Hey man, I'm angry. I don't know how to deal with this. How do I deal with when I'm the only person that looks like me at my job, and you know, and people making sly jokes or people making comments? How do I deal with it? You know, because a woman might deal with it in one way, but how does another man tell another man how to deal with it? And if he's not really somebody who knows how to navigate systems or somebody who knows how to deal with it, they might, man, this one keeping it real go wrong, like Dave Chappelle said. And you sitting there, you trying to keep it real, and now you broke and poor, and they sitting there laughing at you because you're on the streets. But you know, you need somebody that you can go talk to and say, hey, what do I do? Be it somebody. I mean, sometimes you can find that, and I think, like we always talk about, that's one of the issues with the churches, is that they don't develop these systems, but that should be places where we should be able to find those connections. But I think that's what we have to develop in this next generation. For these next generations, you have to teach these kids how to navigate these systems, how to deal with the stress of being who you are, how to be confident in who you are. And just know, I mean, you know, just knowing that, be it whatever creator you believe in, has empowered you to do whatever you believe, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, everything you said, I agree with, and I'm a rebuttal it by saying this though, is we right now we have to navigate those systems, but what we really need to do is learn how to build our own systems.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that part too. But
we got to get
until you can get financially liberated. Yeah, you need to work
liberated, and that's the problem. That's what you're saying, like when you said navigate the system when you're the only person of your color at your job. Because I deal with that pretty much every day. I think it's it's me. At my job is me, it's another guy, and then it's a girl that works in the office, and then we have a Hispanic girl that works in the office. And basically, you know, everybody say I come in the office and I leave straight out. Really, I do. I don't. I go in and I leave straight out. Nothing against the other guys. I talk to some of the guys. I even give them pointers on different stuff that they could do. You know, when they ask me for help with different stuff, I give them pointers on it and everything like that. But for the most part, that's why I'm in and out, because I don't want the jokes to happen that I have to try to navigate.
No, I mean, not just that too. I mean, I was talking about, I mean, I do know, I mean, that's when I agree with that one, where you know, you got to know how to be able to stand on who you are, and people aren't not comfortable with going there, but they are open to, when those discussions come up about race or issues, that you are able to have those discussions with people and maybe educate somebody to the next level. You know what I mean?
I got what
And
you're saying. Are you talking about, when you say people, are you talking about somebody of another race, or are you talking about us?
either or,
I
either
got you.
or. I'm talking about just with people in that, because some you got to know how to do it with both, because you'll get people that look just like you, but they not where you at, or know how to talk like you do, or know how to even represent or hold yourself to a standard. But you need to know how to, you know, bring them up, or you know what I mean, or how to be able to work that system with them and teach them how to work that system. Like, hey, you might not want to keep slipping out on lunch like you doing and being late, because you know that that trait is gonna be put on you, that you know black folks are always late, you know, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean, when you get somebody young around you. But I mean, even with the with how we deal with you, I know you probably had this conversation with Mike about if a police officer ever around you, you know, you teach them how to say, you know, look, man, I'm not about to question you, because I'm just gonna say yes, sir, okay, you know, in that, make that interaction as short as possible and as brief, you know, so but that's part of the systems that you got to know how to navigate, you know.
Yeah, you try to make that interaction. You try not to escalate that interaction, especially if the person coming. Especially, you have to kind of, the same way you have to do with anybody. You have to pay attention to how that person is coming into the situation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That system,
people
swim through it like.
Yeah, some people come to some police officers come into the situation already amped because of whatever happened to them at home, earlier in the job, or whatever.
Well,
So they come into that situation amped already, and then if you amped and they amped,
you ain't gonna win
because they got the gun. Even if you got a gun and you happen to use it on them, you're still gonna lose.
Yep.
Even if you
and it's one of those
you're
ones,
gonna lose. So the best way to do it is to calm down. You know, yes, sir. Give, you know, let them know what you're doing, and play that role the best way you can play it, and say whatever you need to say that you're mad about after they leave.
Because you can't. Like you gotta understand that.
I'll be talking again when he leaves.
Yeah.
You ain't always got to be right, you know, because that's the one they always got to prove I'm right. No, but you let it go. Because another thing too, a lot of times, even though they you know, but again, they're still people, so we don't know. Like, you have to know how to. Each encounter is new. You don't know if they just left this honor with somebody spit on something, so, or they had to chase down a kid who looked just like you, and then they get to you. Yeah, they're gonna be pissed. They're like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know.
Now on the flip side of that though, they are supposed to be professionals. They're supposed to be trained to go into every encounter a certain way too. The majority of them seem to forget that, black and white. This ain't just a white police officer thing. Black and white police officers tend to forget when it's a person of color about that training that they had. And I let me take that back. I ain't gonna say the majority. I'm just gonna say in many times it happens. And it's been happening a lot more. Not a lot more lately. It's just been happening in a sense where, because we got phones that capture everything on video, now we're seeing it more on social media. But this has been happening since, you know, I mean, think about it. I mean, Richard Pryor's joke all the time. You know, Richard Pryor's joke was he shot his car, and he was like, you know, he said when the police came, he went inside because they don't shoot cars, they shoot niggas. So, you know, that's the 70s. So if you got a comedian on a large level saying that in the 70s, it's been going on. It's audience. Just now, that's right, with a majority white audience, and now you got a now it's just on video now. You can see it on video.
But I'll say this
and everything.
I know I don't want to villainize them. I mean, because I think if one thing with these movements they need to I mean, if they can focus on is trying to get, as we talk about this again, this mental health issue, and I think if we look at police officers, the servicemen, you know, anyone who carrying that gun, there needs to be some kind of, there should be some mental, I mean, they should do more training. You know what I'm saying? How to deal with these, because these guys get out there and they lose. You go to back to your own street sense or natural, what you think the way it should go. But so maybe we should focus on trying to get these guys retrained, or because some of them don't know what to do. And so they go back to some of that, to their back to their old ways of thinking. But if we put legislative pushes on there to say, hey, maybe some of these cops could get trained again. Maybe some of these, if you're getting guys straight out the military, maybe we can do some training with them, on their mental capability, not capability, but their mental state of seeing how they can get, do a better job at it. Maybe that might help our communities a little bit more.
It probably would. I'm gonna tell you that in Detroit, Coleman Young had the best idea. You hire from within your city.
But the problem is,
you don't have enough people to hire within your city, but you have to give some incentive for them people to either move to that city and police where they live at, or you have to, just because a person has a felony doesn't mean they don't change. Some people don't, but a lot of them do. And they probably could police that community much better than somebody that's in Detroit, for instance, somebody that's living out in Bloomfield Hills coming into the city trying to police the city, or here in Atlanta, somebody living up in Dallas, Georgia, and they coming down to Atlanta, Georgia, trying to police.
But even with that, I think I saw this going on. In like Baltimore, they were focusing on, because I'm good friends with I was good friends with a cop. He told me when he first started, they used to walk neighborhoods, and so the police had a presence in the neighborhood, so the people were familiar with your local cop, and you were able, and so they saw the kids growing up, so it was almost like how back in that Mayberry type, you know what I mean, like with the Andy Griffin field, but for the cities where even if you don't live in the city, you're spending more time in that neighborhood, so you know the people per se, rather than I'm just here to police you.
Yeah,
because you were part of the community.
Because that's if you like I rolled through Brookhaven here, and even though those police officers, a lot of those police officers don't live in Brookhaven, because Brookhaven is, most of those homes are $400,000 and $500,000 and up. But
again, our law enforcement can't afford that.
Yeah, but
they legit.
But what I do notice is that they have a lot of community things where the police is able to, basically go in that community, like you just said, and get to know the people in that community. So they're not becoming a occupying force, whereas they're just really helping out in the community. And most of our Black communities, or the areas where there is majority Black, the police doesn't feel like a community force, where they feel more like an occupying force.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too. We developed this community. It goes back to that whole sense of community, and if that's where where the biggest issue is, that the community isn't developed, whereas people who live there feel a part of live. Like that goes with your police force and your, if you all working, you open stores, you live there, you feel more vested in it.
Yeah. So now look, so Jesse Williams had this speech. Obviously, we took we was able to take just a piece of that speech and go all the way into talking about the police and fatherhood and mentorship and everything like that. It was one other thing in that piece that he talked about was and it's something he talked about loving Black women and giving them their just due, basically. He didn't say it in those words, but basically that's what he was saying. And I was just thinking, because I know when I went to my wife's school and talked to the kids there, that was my last statement to them, is that do your best to respect your woman, and not just what I mean by that is the women in that community. Do your best to respect the women in that community because, you know, no one's going to respect you if you don't respect your women.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, well, he like I said, he hit a lot of points. He talked about spending your money and buying brands. It was almost like he was rapping at that point, and he was spitting bars at that point. But he was talking about, you know, we was branded, we was branded on our bodies, and now we go out and work our bodies to get brands to put back on our bodies, something like that. And And the thing is that, you know, that's why I promoted that freedom paper, and every time I come on here, I'm gonna try to find something else to promote, because we quick to go out and spend our money outside of our community. But we're not quick enough to, you know, I hear a lot of people say, well, you know, they, you know, some things they charge too much. And it's like, well, you don't say that when you go to McDonald's. You don't be trying to get a hookup from McDonald's, but you go to the Black Rib Shack and you want to get a discount, like on I'm gonna get you something. But you don't do that at McDonald's. You ain't going to McDonald's like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, go ahead.
Why buy other brands? You have your mind. You're such, Black people are so talented. Why don't we get our own businesses? Why don't we get our own, you know, restaurants where we can get our own food freshly grown and everything? We can grow our own food, or we can get farms. So actual people, instead of having our food in factories or something like that, we can get our own fashion companies. We can buy our own clothes. Like we said in the beginning, we can have our own paper products for our houses.
You know, it's funny, Jay. We are, I mean, you the historian. How many years are we outside of actual slavery? We're not gonna add Jim Crow into it, but
well, I mean, okay.
How many years are we outside of slavery?
You say legal sign. We'll go with just the Emancipation Proclamation. That was January 1st, 1865. Really didn't hit the other part. Well, 1863 hit the other part of the country.
So June 19th is 67, right?
65, I think. June 1965. Say it took years to reach to the other part of the country. So, what year did he was the 14th Amendment? So probably less than 150 years.
Yeah, less than 150 years. So less than 150 years. But in 1920 something, there was a black car company called the Patterson Car Company, I believe. And my question is, if there was a black car company in 1920s, of course, it's no longer. But my question is, why, you know, we so busy trying to even making your own fashion is great. You know, again, I do music, so of course doing that is great. All those are great things, but we have to cultivate the minds of our young people to go out and say, I don't want to work for Ford, I want to be Ford.
But you know what? And that's almost one that can be translated not just to our culture, but to just America in general. Because if you go back let's go back before the 70s. No, we'll be back before the 90s. There were probably about, 6, 7 auto companies you had out there. And now, I mean, American companies. We're talking about before you got the Toyota, Mitsubishi, and all those. Remember, you had all these car companies, all these different companies.
You went out, man. You went out.
Can you hear me?
I got you now.
No, I was just saying we.
You out again?
Dang. Can you hear me again?
Nah, we got you.
No, I was saying our country began where we were birthed on this entrepreneurship and this where Americans were willing to go out there and invest and start something new, and this country was one that supported that, and we it just become to the point, even as if we talk about just even on a small scale, with we're looking at like just black people starting small stuff, that can only go so far. But even if we keep putting these, I mean, because I'm big on the politics, but I'm like, we keep putting in these people who constantly only focus on the larger scale and all only look at this global economy, but it which leaves put a shortcoming on our American economy, and so it killed the entrepreneurship. So as we keep going to these ballots and supporting and pushing for these same congressmen, presidents, and those political people whose agenda is doing nothing but supporting that destruction of, the creative side of America. I mean, like I said, a lot of this is that we're seeing. See, it's like the things we're seeing with the black community is going in the spectrum is so big because it's not just us who's feeling it, it's everyone. But if we all can focus on, I don't know. I think I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm just like, I think it's bigger than, well, you know what I mean?
I got you.
America, we've killed it all.
I got what you're saying. I think, like I said, I got what you're saying. I just, hold on, I'm sorry. I got but I think capitalism is a greedy system.
Yeah.
And it's so greedy to the point that now you got to work 40, 50, 60 hours just to make, a little bit of money. Like we was talking about earlier, how, if a person, David Banner was on the 5150 show, Corey Holcomb, and he was talking about how if he learned that if the white man will pay you $1, that means you're worth $3. And so he broke that down and said, well, he took that to a higher level and said that so that means if the white man is willing to give you $1 million contract, he's willing to that means you're worth $3 million. And he was saying how you have to stop being so worried about how big you are and understand that you don't have to, like in music, you don't have to go platinum to necessarily be free and be on your own. You don't have to do that. You could sell 1,000 copies or 2,000 copies of an album and still make plenty of money if you're doing the album yourself, because you're going to make at least 60 to 70% of the album. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing it yourself, or if you sign with an independent that okay, they do a lot of the stuff for you, but they're giving you a bigger percentage of your album, and they're giving you more power to do what it is you want to do, instead of going and signing with a major who, they're going to get you known all over the country. You'll have fame, but you've lost all your power.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and again, that goes back to what you were saying. Like we're trying to be big instead of actually, understanding that if I just deal with the neighbor and deal with the people in my neighborhood, we can all be rich together.
Yeah, and it's crazy with this country. If we can just deal with the things that we sell as a country, and then first start dealing with the thing we sell as a country, and then once you get that, that opens up us to start investing back into the things that African Americans might make for this country. You know what I mean? Because everybody here, where I live at is just like Atlanta. Everybody drive what kind of cars? Mercedes. I'm like, some no American-made cars around here. And it's like, okay, so you're shipping all that money to these foreign countries. But
Hey, clip
what
your
if
phone back to your face, man. All right, there you go.
no, I'm saying if just think all that money that's coming from the auto industry that's not even coming back to, our own land. Imagine if we just start bringing that money back here, we can start elevating ourselves again. I mean, even I'm looking at, a nation and then go back to community. I think when we look at look at it. It starts your family, community, your nation. Nation, and then globally. And I think this country has jumped from, the family. We go from individualism to globalism. We lost the community and we lose the nationalism. Where we invest in our own place. In our own community, our own place, or even invest in our own families. I mean, I got cousins who got business. I got one cousin. She at home. She make these bomb dinners. And then she get all this backlash about folks talking about, oh, your prices cost too much. Or my cousins who sell rib dinners, and people complaining, oh man, we don't want none. They cost too much. But it's the quality of stuff you get.
Yeah,
and I
mean that we can have a whole nother. We can talk about that for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I'm gonna show this other business, man, real quick. Show this other business real quick, and can you see that?
No, I can't see nothing. I see y'all.
You gotta click on it.
Let's see here. There we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So that's Detroit Lives Matter, man. I went to middle school with this cat. He sells t-shirts and hoodies and different stuff like that. So
check out.
If you're in Detroit, you need to check that out. Who you about to talk about?
Check out my boy Mo's t-shirt business, Mad Nick
Mo's
Creations.
t-shirts. Mo, he got a website?
Go to you on Facebook, look up Mad Nick Creations.
Mad Nick Creations.
Nick, MADNIC Creations.
You can't spell creations? No, I'm just messing with you.
Nah, man, that's too much, dude. I'm not a wordsmith.
Okay, so that's .com. Is that .com?
Well, look up his Facebook page because he do it mostly through his Twitter. But he got teacher tees. He got I rock that one. I got one that I rock.
So what's the Facebook page?
Nick Creation.
Nick. Mad Nick or Nick?
NIC.
Nick Creations.
Did it come up there?
I think I see it. It's I think I see it. I'm gonna show it on here. If it ever come up, my computer is running real slow right now. Got too much stuff going on in it.
Well, this guy, I mean, he a good man. If you looking for t-shirts. He do the tees. He got his as Detroit. He got the teacher shirts. He got inspirational shirts. He even can do if you got barbecue. Family reunions. He can do all that.
Okay. So if you go on Facebook, I'm about to show it real quick so they can see it.
Or you can follow him on Instagram if you on there, because he ship them to you, decent price, any size you need.
So there you go, Mad Nick Creation Tees. Holler at him. He a good guy. I remember meeting him at your wedding. So holler at him. Get some t-shirts from him. Also go to that Detroit Lives Matter site on Facebook. Holler at him. Got it. We got you know D Jones, don't you?
Oh yeah, check out his success.
Yeah, success over sleep. I got one of them shirts. Maybe I'll wear it for the next one. If I remember. Right now I got this Bob Marley shirt on. Mike got the I Can't Breathe shirt on. I
Boy, you better.
Say I will breathe.
Yeah, I should, cross out that can't, maybe do a Sharpie over.
Say that again, Mike. Say that, Jay.
I said, open your mouth. You can breathe now, boy.
All right, man. So we're gonna get off of here, man. Until the next time.
All right.
What's the What show? We're gonna be doing this every week, talking about different stuff that's going on and just trying to come up with some solutions. If you got any business ideas, any business that you want me to talk about, hit me up on Eomi Music, the Facebook page, Eomi Music, EOMI Music. Hit me up there and let me know what you want me to support. If you are in Detroit and you have a organization that is doing anything for the community positive, let me know. I'm going to talk about it on here as this audience grow. We want to shout out and let y'all and let people know about you, because that's what it's all about. We got to help each other, because while we do live in this nation, we as Black people, we know that we could do better, and the only way to do better is to help one another. Mike, you got something to say?
Just Black people, y'all need to wake up. That's it.
Wake up. That's the young lion talking, telling y'all to wake up. Gotta wake up, and we waking up. We doing a lot better, but we got a long way to go still. One more thing I'm gonna say is that Jay, you a big Martin Luther King fan, and
man, I ain't no Martin Luther King fan.
Yes, you are. You a big Martin Luther King fan.
I like that guy in his later years. That guy was the deal, though. He was the deal. I can't
say that again.
I loved him in his latter years, I'm all about that.
That's what I was about to talk about. In his latter years, he talked about how he believed he told Harry Belafonte he believed he has integrated us into a burning house, and they never talk about that Martin Luther King. They always talk about the I Have a Dream. They never even talk about the beginning part of that speech when he talk about the check that's come back bounced. The thing is, the main thing that Martin Luther King in his latter years talked about was Black people putting their money into Black banks, starting Black businesses, and loving their Black selves. A lot of people don't hear those speeches because, again, it's not shown. Those are not the speeches that show on mainstream. We just get the I Have a Dream speech mainstream, and
even going just beyond our community. Shoot, what was he doing at the end on the time of his death?
He was doing poverty for white and Black, poor whites and poor Blacks and middle class Blacks, and again, like I said, poor whites and then telling America to get out of these other countries, what you was talking about earlier.
Right. I'm like, we got to start building up our own joint.
That globalization only comes through imperialism and colonialism. So in those latter years, that's what he talked about. So that's what I want to do here is, just talk about different things like that. And I'm sorry I'm scratching my eye all in the screen, but yeah, I just want to talk about those type of things and let people know about different businesses that's going on. And be on the lookout for, I got a book that's about to drop hopefully the next few months. I'm still working on it. So hopefully the next few months, still working on a couple projects with Eomi Music. We about to start Go Out right now. Johnny, go pick up his album, Love Song. You can get it on iTunes. You can get it on you can stream it on Spotify. You can get it on Amazon, Google, and go do all that for us. We out. Peace.
I need my 40 acres in the mule.
Boy, you